All right, let's dive into one of the most incredible opportunities out there, the Swedish Institute Scholarship for Global Professionals. You've probably heard of it. Maybe you've thought about applying. Well, today we're going to break it all down and demystify the whole thing, from who can apply to the secret sauce that makes an application truly shine.
I mean, come on. That's the dream, right? Getting a top-tier master's degree in a beautiful country like Sweden and having it all paid for? It sounds almost too good to be true, but every single year, this dream becomes a reality for a select group of people.
Okay, but let's get real for a second. This scholarship is incredibly competitive. We're talking about thousands upon thousands of brilliant people applying from all over the world. The acceptance rate, it usually sits around a razor-thin 4%. Yeah, it's tough for a reason.
But hey, don't let that number scare you off. Hundreds of people get this scholarship every year. The key isn't just being smart or qualified. Lots of people are. The key is being prepared and strategic. And that's exactly what we're here to do, give you the roadmap to becoming one of them.
So first things first, before we get into all the nitty-gritty details, let's just take a moment to understand what we're actually talking about here. What is this scholarship, and why is it, without a doubt, a life-changing opportunity?
So the full name is the Swedish Institute Scholarship for Global Professionals, and those last two words are the most important. Global professionals. This isn't for students fresh out of their bachelor's degree. It's specifically designed for people who are already out in the world, working, leading, and making a difference, especially when it comes to sustainable development. And when they say fully funded, they mean it. Your tuition fees are completely covered, you get a monthly living stipend of 12,000 Swedish kronor, a travel grant to get you there, and full insurance. But honestly, the real prize might be those last two bullets. You're not just getting a degree, you're getting a lifelong membership into an elite global network of leaders and changemakers. That's priceless.
Okay, I know you're excited. You're probably already picturing yourself in Stockholm. But hold on. Before we go any further, we have to get past the first big hurdle, eligibility. Let's talk about the absolute must-have requirements. These are the fundamentals, the non-negotiables. First, you've got to be a citizen of one of the 40-plus eligible countries. Second, your master's program has to be on their specific approved list for the year. And, super important, you must have proven work and leadership experience under your belt.
Now, let's zoom in here, because this is where people get confused. Work experience and leadership experience are two different things. For work, they often want to see a hard minimum, like 3,000 hours of actual paid employment. Leadership, though, is more flexible. There's no minimum number of hours, and it can come from managing a team at work, leading a project at an NGO, or organizing something in your community. Think of it this way. Your work experience is your foundation, but your leadership experience shows your future potential.
Okay, so you meet the criteria. Fantastic. Now it's time to build your application. And let me be clear, the details here matter. They require very specific documents, and there is absolutely zero room for error. Here is rule number 1, and please listen closely. You must use the official SE templates. For your CV, for your proof of experience, for your letters of reference. Use their forms. They often change them every year. So using an old one is a surefire way to get disqualified before anyone even reads your name. And don't underestimate how seriously they take this stuff. As one past winner put it, they are very particular about getting things officially signed and stamped. They want to see a traditional, physical ink stamp from your company or your referee. A digital signature might not cut it. That stamp is proof that your documents are the real deal.
Now, as you're pulling all these papers together, there are 3 letters that should be your guiding light for everything you write. SDG, the Sustainable Development Goals.
This isn't just a suggestion, folks. It's the whole point of the scholarship. They are looking for future leaders who are going to contribute to these global goals. Your entire application, from your motivation letter to your references, needs to tell a story about how you are connected to this mission. How will your studies in Sweden help you solve a real-world problem? That's the question you need to answer.
All right, let's talk about timing. This part is critical because the process itself can be a little confusing, and the deadlines are, well, they're set in stone. Pay really close attention here, because this is a 2-part process that trips people up all the time. First, you have to apply for your master's programs through the Central Swedish University portal. That deadline is usually in mid-January. Then, completely separately, you apply for the SI Scholarship through its own portal, which is only open for a couple of weeks in February. They are two different applications with two different deadlines. So here's how that looks on a calendar. The forms usually come out in November, so you can start working on them early. You hit that big university deadline in January, and then bam, you have that super tight 2-week window in February to get your scholarship application submitted. After that, you just have to wait for the good news in the spring.
And I cannot say this loudly enough. This is a direct quote from the official source. They will not accept any late applications. Not for computer problems, not for anything. The portal closes, and that's it. Do yourself a favor and submit everything at least a day or two early.
So, we've covered the what, the why, and the how. But with a 4% acceptance rate, you know that just meeting the requirements isn't going to be enough. So how do you go from being just another qualified person in the pile to being a scholarship winner?
This really is the most important piece of the puzzle. Like a past winner said, there are thousands of qualified people. Everyone has a good degree, everyone has work experience. Ticking all the boxes just gets your foot in the door. What gets you the scholarship is your unique, compelling story.
So that's the final question I'll leave you with. This application isn't just a list of your accomplishments. It's a narrative. It's the story of who you are, the impact you've already made, and a powerful vision for how this exact opportunity in Sweden is going to help you change the world. That's what they're looking for. So, what story are you going to tell? Good luck.